Hi. Hello. Oh, let me just turn on another lamp here. Okay. What were we doing? Oh, right. We were about to start the trial. Close that. Power save. I got a little delayed. I'm sorry. But here we are. Hi. Welcome. Power save. Off. Pause that. There we go. I'm just trying to think. I'm sure there's something I forgot, but I can't think of it right now. Okay. So we saw this briefly last week, the start of the trial. And now we actually started, so yeah, let's go. Yes. October 14th, 9:41 a.m. District Court, Defendant Lobby number 4. Hey, Nick! What is it this time? You won't believe how many people are here for the trial. Well, it is a murder case. What are you talking about? They're here for the trial next door. Next door? Why don't you know this, Nick? Hey, Pro Sale. They're having Detective Atmey's trial today. Detective Atmey? They say they're going to try him as Mask the Mask. Already? That was fast. Boy, I'd love to see Mask the Mask's trial. I know. By the way, where's Pearls? Oh, she went back home. She said she can't neglect her training anymore. I know, you don't like me. Pearls has really gotten into her training lately, huh? Yeah, ever since that incident last year. Please, don't ignore me. Oh, Mr. Delight, good morning. No one likes me. No one would notice me even if I killed someone. Come on, don't be silly. Wait a sec. You don't mean you're the murderer? No, I'm just a poor thief. No, wait, that's not right. A thief can't really be poor. Now, let's see. According to Mr. Delight, from his second crime on, he was following a bunch of set plans. Plans that someone had been sending him to help him commit the heists. Do you really think there's a connection between the thief and the murder, Nick? It's possible, but today's trial is a race against the clock. Huh? How come? Let's just take our time, like always. I'm afraid that's not an option. Sorry. October 14th, 10 a.m. District Court, courtroom number 6. Court is now in session for the trial of Mr. Ron Delight. The defense is ready, Your Honor. You're ready? Preparation is the last refuge of the weak. Okay, settle down, everyone. Let's begin with your opening statement, Mr. Godot. He's got the judge in the palm of his hand, yet again. Ron Delight is simply too young to be sent to war. That's all. What? I'm afraid I have no idea what that means, Mr. Godot. Huh. Then you need to get out more, Your Honor. Life is war. But that is exactly why you must be more precise in your wording. That's all my statement means. You understand now, right? Yes. Well then, let me briefly summarize the details of this case. Wow, the judge is taking charge like he knows what's going on for a change. The victim is Kane Bullard, CEO of KB Security. His body was found in a safe at approximately 9 a.m. on the morning of the 13th. However, the time of death was estimated as 1 a.m. of the previous day. Sorry, I have an itch. And that's when our little lost kitten dropped the ball. That little lost kitten is, of course, the defendant. Very well then, Mr. Godot. Please call your first witness. I'm wondering... I mean, I know we're almost done with this game, the trilogy, but I'm wondering if there's a voice altering thing that you can just plug in here between the 3.5mm thing, so I could do different voices for all the characters. Like a filter type thing. That would be fun. I should look into that. I never drink more than 17 cups of coffee during any given trial. A man of pro-sale's mind. Pro-sale? How many cups of coffee have you had today? Is it double digits? But the first one is always the best. Yes. It's 7 o'clock in the evening and Pro-Sale was drinking coffee. Yes. The world is right on its axis. Mr. Godot, your witness. Of course you did. Okay then, let's hear what the defendant, Mr. Ron Delight, has to say for himself. The defendant? Well, Mr. Wright, does the defense have any objections? It may be a bit of a disadvantage having the defendant testify, but... I remember when Mia was defending me. She allowed me to testify so she could do the cross-examination. She put a lot of trust in me back then. We have no objections, Your Honor. The defense will allow Mr. Delight to testify. Huh. You've got guts, Trite. You're trite. Alright then, Mr. Ron Delight, please take the stand. I wonder if this game will, or this case will have some interference from the other trial going on parallel. You did it, didn't you? Yes. What? No, that's not true. For a moment there, I thought we'd set the record for the shortest trial ever. Well, Mr. Delight already looks plenty guilty with that face he's making. And once he opens his big mouth, he'll probably put the last nail in his own coffin. Huh, very well. Now then, can you tell me something? If you didn't kill Bullard, why did you go to KB Security? Well, that's kind of hard to say. Boy, I wish I could go home. Now then, let's hear some testimony about what happened. My visit to KB Security. That evening, around 1 a.m., I went to see Mr. Bullard in his office at KB Security. The blackmail letter I got, it ordered me to go there. I'd been working for KB Security until a year ago, so I knew where his office was. 1 a.m., the exact time the murder took place. The weak get washed away by the tides of fate. The strong drink it up. He is such a cliché. Huh. It's bitter today, too. Just destiny. You'd never know that from the way he's chugging it down. Mr. Wright, your cross-examination, if you please. That evening, around 1 a.m., I went to see Mr. Bullard in his office at KB Security. 1 a.m., huh? You're absolutely sure about that? Yes. That's what my watch said when I was entering the CEO's office. No. Actually, I'm not really sure. My watch was slow, and my internal clock was also... 1 a.m., that's the exact time the victim, Mr. Bullard, was murdered, correct? It's too late for a coffee date, that's for sure. The blackmail letter I got, it ordered me to go there. It ordered you there? It was the first time I'd gotten a blackmail letter that ordered me to go somewhere. Does that mean you've gotten other blackmail letters then? Oh, of course. They'd say things like, steal this or take that. Why didn't you save those for later, Mr. Light? Please don't say any more. Now, what should I do? What should I do? Dear proofreaders. I think we need to press harder. Always the truth. Always the right solution. Press harder. Sorry. So, what did the blackmail letter in question say? It said to bring $50,000. Money, perfect motive for committing murder. Oh, but wait! I never intended to pay that money anyway. Oh, is that right? After all, he had nothing to hold over my head. I had nothing to be afraid of. An important point indeed. Witness, let's have that added to your testimony. Yes, sir. A muddy mud skipper in outer space has a better chance of surviving than I do. Blackmail letter didn't scare me. It wasn't going to cause me trouble or anything. Just what were you being blackmailed about, anyway? The blackmail letter said if you don't want your identity revealed, correct? I'm sure it was referring to the whole mask-to-mask thing. But I wasn't worried. Mr. Bullard didn't have anything on me. He didn't? Anyway, I don't care what anyone says about me. Just as long as Desi believes in me. That's why Mr. Light didn't believe he was mask to mask. That's why I knew they were just hollow threats. I'd been working for KB Security until a year ago, so I knew where his office was. You used to be security chief for KB Security, right? Yes, that's right. A security chief? You? And yet, a year ago, you were fired without notice. Revenge for an old grudge? Perfect motive for murder, wouldn't you say? This isn't good. Maybe I should change the subjects. Mr. Delight, please tell us why you were fired from your job. Well, the world is filled with those who have said, I wish I had never asked that. Okay, I take it back. Defendant, please answer the question. I needed money. You needed money? Well, you see, Desi loves to spend it. It's kind of her hobby. Not exactly the best hobby in the world, huh, Nick? My salary wasn't nearly enough, so I stole data from the company. Come again? KB Security has a lot of security info on all sorts of companies. And since I was a security team chief, we stole some data and sold it. Mr. Bullard found out, and I was fired immediately. What? I wish I had never asked that. I was somehow able to keep it secret and made it seem like I had quit on my own. What is it, Nick? You don't look so good. Someone who brings harm to their company is fired as punishment. You do well to remember that. He sure told you. So you admit that you stole data from your company, is that correct? Yes, I'm sorry. This is a very important fact. Please add it to your testimony. Oh man, this whole thing just took a big turn for the worse. Crashed and blew up. It's gonna take the jaws of life to rip this case from the clutches of disaster. Okay, so let's do this one again and see if we can add something else. Not why you were fired. Oh, never mind. That was all I could do. You fired me for telling secrets, but Desi doesn't know that. Why would you do something like that? Well, for Desi's hobby. What else? Wasting money, huh? It's not a waste. So Mr. Light doesn't know that her husband was fired, does she? So we would see. Is she not in the audience right now? I'm not sure what to think about couples who keep secrets like that from each other. Good point, Maya. I can't believe it. This case has gotten even Maya to think seriously about couples. Please try to stay focused, Mr. Wright. There wasn't much to his testimony, was there? Hey, Mr. Disagree! Nice to see you here. How are you today? I didn't know you were awake. So not to talk business, but multi-queue? Oh, it's lunchtime already. Oh, right, yes. I know what time zone you're in. Sounds like he's avoiding something. At least that's what it sounds like to me. Uh-oh, I've got a bad feeling about this. We'd better be careful. But if we don't find a way to make him spill the beans, we'll never get closer to the truth. Yeah? Okay, so what do I need? Huh. Aw, thank you. I appreciate it. This is not the best game to stream. I know this, but I'm in too deep. Yeah. But how many? Do I really have 2.5 pages of evidence? I do. The red diamond you received. The red diamond you received, he says. I didn't notice that before. Not received doesn't imply that he actually stole it. Huh. There's too much going on here. Okay, what do we need? We have that. The buzzer went off. We have... Oh wait, what am I on here? Oh right, so whoever hit the buzzer was wearing gloves. The warehouse camera went off. I thought I had one more thing. This? Yes. No. Why does he still have a key card? That still bugs me. You went to see Mr. Bullard, yes. There's always something that, you know, where it doesn't click straight away what I'm looking for. The key card was used at 1 AM. So they must have killed him like instantly they walked through the door. What's this? The red gem. Well, the Tear of Emanon is a blue jewel. And the portrait was returned. And the crown of Baranga wouldn't be called a red gem. I'm confused. I don't remember enough from last week. The red diamond. I am feeling so dumb. Any suggestions? Someone? Anyone? He fired you? You were working there? Yeah, no, it's hard if you don't know the game and you don't know how it works. He's avoiding something. Yeah, I know that. Okay, you know what? Let's present the key card. Oh, no? Never mind. That didn't help. Okay, before I lose any more points, let's save. Yes, it did. You know, let's try the letter here. Because it does sound like it's gonna cause trouble. No? Never mind. Did he actually give him the money? That has not been made clear. I didn't expect this line of questioning. No? Uh-huh. What did this one say again? Right. Still nothing. Wait. I keep forgetting I can ask about profiles now. So let's do that. Maybe? No? Still no? Maybe that. Still no. Okay, let's try that again. Yes. Around 1 a.m. The autopsy report? Let's try the autopsy report. No? One moment. You went to see him, but did you see him? No? Well, I guess I take comfort in the fact that we're all equally dumb. The blackmail letter ordered you to go there. Is there something else with the blackmail letter? Or with this? No. I keep seeing something flash on my laptop. I don't know what it is, but I keep thinking it's chat. I feel like such a dummy. It's gonna be super obvious once I figure it out. You went to see Mr. Bullard. Well, we found your wallet. How did Larry not see him leave? If Larry found the wallet at 1 a.m., how did he not see him leave? Because Larry was obviously in the building at 1 a.m. The buzzer went off at 1:02. No. I'm just grasping at straws now. Maybe this is where I used to keep her? No? Okay. Dead again. Damn it. Blackmail letter didn't scare me. It wasn't gonna cause me trouble or anything. That's the new statement, right? No. Yes. No. This is also new. No? I feel like the dumbest person alive right now. Like, I'd struggle to open a door. Desi, it wasn't gonna cause you trouble, but it was. Mr. Delight, what you said just now doesn't match what you told me yesterday. Ha! I figured it out. All on my own. Legit. No one has helped me in chat. Huh? What doesn't? I think you must have been scared. Very scared. Of having a certain person find out your secret. A certain person. Miss Desiree Delight, the defendant's wife. But listen to me, my Desi, she's... Looks like if I just sit back and relax, the fun will end before it truly begins. Oh, Godot. Yes, we know. It was all your wife's fault. What do you mean? Mr. Delight stole company data to pay for his wife's spending habit, for which she was fired. Yes, that's already in evidence, or already in the testimony. Unable to face his own wife, someone used his dirty little secret to blackmail him. And that is how this murder came about. Oh, No, everything is falling neatly into place for him. Don't talk about my Desi like that, or you'll be sorry. Okay, at least we moved on a little closer, a little further. Well, it seems that we've learned a great deal of things here so far. What do you think, Nick? I didn't think it was possible to get so thoroughly whipped in just 20 minutes. You're always confused. That's because you're not actually watching. You're just sorta listening. Clearly, there was sufficient motive for murder. He stole data for his wife, and he killed to protect his secret. Family man who cared just a little too much. The motive is clear. Let's move on. What happened at the crime scene at 1 in the morning, Mr. Delight? Come now, tell us. We're all ears. At the CEO's office, witness testimony. When I entered the office, there was a suspicious shadow there. Suddenly, I was hit on the forehead. After that, I remember being a bit dazed. If I hadn't been wearing that, I would have been killed. Wearing what? When I came to, Mr. Bullard was lying there, dead. So why the fuck would you shove him in the safe, you dumbass? I see. Suddenly hit on the forehead, huh? I believe the detective from yesterday provided similar testimony. It is strangers on a train. He said that Mask the Mask struck him on the head from behind. Of course, since Acme turned out to be the culprit himself, that was all a lie. Huh. No one's going to believe a pathetic lie like that. What are you saying? I really was attacked. We'll find out if what you say is true or not during the cross-examination. Got that, Mr. Wright? Don't go easy just because he's your client. If I see any sign that you are, I'll treat you to another cup of my special blend. Yeah, that's still assault, by the way. You don't need to worry about that, Mr. Godot. I have faith in Ron. I know he didn't do it. At the CEO's office. Again. When I entered the office, there was a suspicious shadow there. Who was this suspicious shadow? If there were 1,000 of me, and if even one knew, I'd tell you. Trust me. What? Is dodging all your questions is not going to help us win the case. Okay then. How was the victim, Mr. Bullard, at that time? What do you mean by how was he? Was he already dead? Or was he still alive? Maybe he was the one who hit you in the first place. That's a good question. What do you think, Mr. Wright? Forget it. Suddenly, I was hit on the forehead. After that, I remember being a bit dazed. Your forehead? Yes, I was hit on the forehead as soon as I entered the room. It was an amazingly fast and powerful attack. Do you remember anything about who hit you? Well, like I said, it was a fast and powerful hit. So I think I was a little dazed for a while. I don't think Mr. Delight even grasped what you were asking. No, he's just dumb. Yeah, I'd like to show him a fast and powerful attack myself. Maybe that would knock some sense back into him. If I hadn't been wearing that, I would have been killed. Wearing what? That? Could you please clarify what you are referring to? Why? My Mask the Mask costume, of course. Wait just a moment. Mask the Mask? Huh? Oh, did I forget to mention it before? Just to be on the safe side, I dressed as Mask the Mask. And then I descended upon the office of the CEO of KB Security. What? Nick, did you know about this? He never told me this. I don't recall him ever mentioning it to me either. Even I didn't know that. It seems our little friend really loves to keep secrets. I'm sorry, I just never had a chance to mention it up until now. Wait, that's not right. You know how sometimes things just slip your mind? Huh, my 6th cup of coffee staring up at me coldly. You've had 6 cups of coffee in half an hour. I think you have a legitimate addiction. At any rate, we can't ignore this new piece of information. Witness, please correct your testimony. I'd have been killed if I hadn't been wearing my Mask the Mask costume. Yeah. Okay, let's have him talk about that more. Why were you dressed up as Mask the Mask? Why? Because I'm Mask the Mask, of course. What are you talking about? Mask to Mask's trial is being held next door. Oh, yeah, I guess so. Anyway, at that time, I thought I was being blackmailed over the Mask to Mask issue. So I thought I should go with him, just to be safe. Sorry. Oh boy. Well, let me tell you, it's a real pain to move around with that cape. That's why it took a lot longer than I expected. Took a lot longer? What is he talking about? What do you mean by took a lot longer? Oh, opening the safe, of course. My cape got caught in the safe door, you see. This all happened when I was hiding Mr. Bullow's body. Why would you hide the body still? What was that? Back up a second. Yes? You were the one that hid the body in the safe? Well, yeah. Inconceivable! Why? Just why? What reason could you have? What were you thinking? Question. When does someone toss their dirty shorts in the washing machine? What? Yeah, what? The answer is simple. When they take them off. As usual, I have no idea what you're saying. Do you mean that Mr. Delight hid the body because he's the murderer? Huh. So you're not as stupid as you look. His metaphor this time was really obscure. Mr. Wright, you don't mean that you knew about this whole safe business, do you? Well, yes. Why am I the only one not in the loop here? Witness, make sure you add this to the testimony. Yes, sir. Uh-oh, looks like a storm front is moving in over the fair weather, Judge. Hang on. Okay, so we didn't actually get to that one. When you came to? Yes, I was passed out in the corner of the room. Do you know when your assailant made their escape and to where? I'm afraid I don't really remember. Huh. Once they hit me, I lost all track of what was going on. I think that's when they made their escape. Huh. That's certainly a convenient story for you, isn't it? It certainly is, isn't it, Mr. Wright? It almost sounds practical. I don't know why you're telling me. I panicked and hid the body in the safe. It took about 10 minutes. Why did you hide the body in the safe anyway? Well, because it wouldn't fit in a drawer. That's not exactly what I meant. When I saw that corpse, I kinda lost it. I thought, if they find his corpse, they'll think I did it. Huh! I think you had a simpler reason than that. It's because you killed him. That's why you spent 10 minutes hiding the body. That certainly makes more sense. Uh-huh. Hold on. 10 minutes? What is it, Nick? I just had a thought. Under those circumstances, would you normally try to hide the body and spend 10 whole minutes to do it? Under those circumstances? What circumstances? Oh! Hey, Nick, if you think his behavior was so strange, why don't you present some evidence that would show just what those circumstances were? That's it. I'll take a look at the court record and present some evidence. We heard this from Mr. Delight yesterday, didn't we? There's not much in this testimony either. I bet you he's still hiding something. I wouldn't be surprised. We'll just have to draw it out of him. And just hope he doesn't make things any more complicated. Okay, so something he told us yesterday. What did he tell us yesterday? He was stealing as directed by blackmail letters. So he had to get to... Let's just try this one. Oh, nope. Not that one. Damn it. I should have saved. There are no fingerprints on that. What the fuck did he tell us yesterday? He lost his wallet. He was waiting for his wife. Hang on a moment. Did he press the button? Someone pressed the buzzer. You know what, it might be super dumb, but let's try this. Your Honor, could you please take a look at this record? And what might this be? The record for the emergency buzzer that connects the CEO's office to security. If the button in the office is pressed, the security team is supposed to come running. And according to this record, the buzzer was pushed once at 1:02 a.m. What? Mr. Ron DeLite truly was the murderer. He would have ran as soon as that buzzer sounded. After all, a security guard would have been heading his way. It wasn't for Larry, the dumbass. Huh, let's remember who we're dealing with here. He probably had no idea there were security personnel in the building. He used to work there, you dummy. Up until 1 year ago, my client was working as a chief of security. There's no way he wouldn't have known about them. But, as it turns out, the guard never came. That was nothing more than a coincidence. The fact that the guard was a pathetic loser. Shots fired, who had just gotten punched in the face by his ex's new boyfriend, and wasn't anywhere in the vicinity, was not something Mr. Delight could have known.
Objection!
Huh. Again. Remember who we're dealing with here. You know, I think you need to take off that visor. You're having technical malfunctions, dude. It's a sure bet that Mr. Delight didn't even notice the buzzer going off. This buzzer is extremely loud. There's no way he could have ignored something like that. If he had been conscious, that is. Hello, Vinterbjörk. How are you today? Conscious? What do you mean by that? Ugh. Is that 7 cups of coffee? Fine. Let's hear your theory. Recall the defendant's testimony. The moment he entered the victim's office, someone attacked him. Mr. Delight said he felt dazed. I'm willing to wager that he was knocked unconscious for at least a few minutes. Unconscious? So he fainted. That's when Mr. Delight didn't know that the buzzer had sounded. And that's why he thought he had time to hide the body. So what are you trying to say? Mr. Delight was knocked out and the buzzer went off soon afterwards. Now, unless my client was able to hit the buzzer while he was unconscious, it can only mean that there was another person in that room. That's right. Whoever it was, they knocked out Ron Delight and then pressed the buzzer. Order in the courts. This is
Objection!
Mr. Wright. This is preposterous. It was this kid. Ron Delight is the one who killed Kane Bullard. Then who pressed the buzzer? It was the victim, of course. He pressed the buzzer when the defendant attacked him. He didn't die right away. He must have held on long enough to push that button. Aha! So Kane Bullard sounded the buzzer himself. No, he didn't. What's your opinion on this, Mr. Wright? I need to prove that the real criminal was there at the scene, but how? Can I prove that it wasn't Kane Bullard who sounded the buzzer? Yes. The defense's opinion is this, Your Honor. This piece of evidence proves that it wasn't the victim who sounded the buzzer. The buzzer is the proof. Wait, hang on. Yeah, fine, yeah. Hey, Clock. How are you today? I believe this is the piece of incontrovertible evidence you were looking for. That is a hard-ass word. The emergency buzzer? Is there some kind of clue on it? Absolutely not. Hey, come on now. At least give some thought to what you say before opening your mouth. The fact that there are absolutely no clues is itself the clue. Now I'm the one who's clueless. This button has no fingerprints on it. Mr. Bullard had really pressed it himself. Naturally, he would have left his fingerprints behind. Oh, what are you painting? I'm good. Thanks for asking. Oh, I missed that. Ron Delight probably wiped his fingerprints. Why would he? A guard could have come in at any moment. He touched that button. I know he did. The defendant, Mr. Delight, was dressed as Mask the Mask. And Mask the Mask always wears gloves. What reason could he possibly have had to wipe the button free of fingerprints? Order, order, order. Huh, it would seem. I've been forced to eat crow. I wonder what blend number crow flavored coffee is. However, if the real killer was there at the scene, why would that person press the emergency buzzer? Shouldn't they have run away without putting themselves in extra danger? What is with this awkward silence all of a sudden? Huh. It looks like you're fresh out of parlor tricks. You're on to you, Nick. Just give me a minute to collect my thoughts. The real culprit killed Mr. Bullard around 1 a.m. And Mr. Delight just happened to waltz in when the murder was taking place, right? Clockwork! Oh my god! Thank you so much for gifting 11 subscriptions. That is crazy. You are crazy. Oh, you got me a new emote slot. Shit. Now I need to figure out a new emote. You crazy person. Oh, thank you so much. You are the sweetest. Thank you. Really. And I just got a Twitch payment last week. Earlier this week. And now you're already throwing more money at me. You are the best. If you didn't already have a mod sword, I would give you a VIP badge. Thank you. Thank you. You are awesome. Wow. Sorry, I got a little flustered there. Where were we? Thank you. Okay. And Mr. Delight just happened to waltz in when the murder was taking place, right? The killer clobbered Mr. Delight and then sounded the buzzer. Even though security was supposed to respond right away if the buzzer was pressed, security was supposed to respond. Time's up, Mr. Wright. Let's hear what you have to say. Very well, then. Aha, you've got some guts. I like that in an opponent. Why did the real killer sound the emergency buzzer? The killer knew that if they pressed that button, a guard would come running. And that was exactly what they wanted. Do you mean to say the killer called the guard on purpose? Yes, although, as it turned out, he never showed up. Because he was getting his clock cleaned at the time. Huh, what a touching story. You're saying... Oh, sorry. You're saying that the killer had a change of heart and called the guard to turn himself in. No, I'm not. When that buzzer sounded, there were 3 people in that office. The victim, Kane Bullard, who was already dead. The defendant, Ron Delight, who was out cold. And the third person, the real killer, whose silhouette looks exactly like Delight. Hang on, sorry. Hypothetically, yes. Now then, in this situation, if the real killer made an escape, what would happen? The only ones left in the room would be the victim and Ron Delight. And if any security guards came running in at that time, they would think that I was the murderer. Exactly, that was precisely the real killer's objective. To frame Ron Delight for the murder. Cheers. He is smoking mad. Again. Yes, charming sound. Order, order, order! Huh. It would seem that you're still smoking mad. I've been made to eat my own words once again. Actually, you've been made to do a spit take with a cup of coffee. Mr. Wright, who was it? Who was it that tried to frame me? Wait. Wait a second. I'm the one and only masks, so... Nick, you mean the real killer is... We're going to drag that person in here right now. But, who is it? I don't have any solid proof yet, but think about it. The killer knew Mr. Delight's identity, and they also knew that he had been called to KB security that night. So the killer used him to execute a well-crafted plan to murder Kane Bullard. Now then, let's hear your accusation, Mr. Wright. Who was it that framed Mr. Ron Delight for the murder of Kane Bullard? Fuck, I wanted to save. Okay, let's go with... Does it matter which one of these I choose? Detective, look at me. He's the only one who could have done it. Ace Detective, look at me. You mean Mask the Mask did it? Your Honor, the person being tried in the court next to us is not Mask the Mask at all. He is, in actuality, the true murderer of Kane Bullard, but also half of Mask the Mask. He's just the mask. And the other half of the mask is Ron Delight's. Order, order, Mr. Wright, explain yourself. Theft and murder, which is the more serious crime? They're not even close. Murder is the more serious crime, of course. It's a capital crime subject to a capital punishment. Well, please remember the trial from yesterday, if you would. Oh, the big red gem! Look at me confess, there was a huge commotion in the courtroom. Of course, a famous detective was unmasked as well. The mask. Instead of being convicted of murder, he was found guilty of grand larceny. That was his true objective all along. To be found guilty? Mask the Mask had the perfect alibi for when the murder took place. He was stealing the urn at Lordly Taylor. In other words, being found guilty as Mask the Mask was, look at me's airtight, watertight, and unassailable alibi. A guilty verdict as an alibi? You know, it's almost time. For what? Look at me's verdict. It was a pretty simple trial, after all. If we're going to stop this trial and stall that one, we need to do it now. Of course. That's assuming you have proof that the detective was the one who committed the murder. It is almost time for more coffee, yes. Mr. Look at Me's trial has indeed attracted the attention of the entire country. We were to intrude and failed to provide adequate proof of his true crime. Just a moment. Something popped up. Sorry about that. Mr. Delight would be left with no grounds for appeal. Am I really sure about this? Huh. A bet's only good when your life's the ante. You're such a cowboy. Mr. Wright, I believe in you. Mr. Delight? So, please, I'm begging you. Thanks, but my decision will determine the rest of your life. Can I really risk your life like this? Phoenix. What was that? Don't stray, Phoenix. For your client, take the path of trust. Ooh, ghost. That voice, it sounds like Mia! Your Honor, the defense requests an immediate recess. Huh. So that's your answer, huh? Ghosts. Very well. I've decided as well. This court will now take a 20-minute recess. Mr. Wright, when we return, please summon Mr. Look at Me to the stand. Yes, Your Honor. October 14th, 11:58 a.m. District Court, courtroom number 5. Oh my god, him. Ha 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 ha. Well, Sir Detective Acme. Yeah, I have to say, Mr. Payne, you performed splendidly. Oh no, Sir Detective Acme. You were the one who... That's enough. It's so weird to see another judge. This court sees no reason to further prolong this trial. This court finds the defendant Look at Me. Hold it. Wait. Don't hand down your verdict yet, please. Well, well, Sir Lawyer, welcome to my courtroom. Who's this hoser, eh? My name is Phoenix Wright, attorney at law, and I wish to file an accusation against this man. Look at me. Accusation? You accuse Masked Mask? That man is not Masked Mask. He's just a ruthless murderer. What? To be continued. Yes, we have a Canadian judge. Yes, I do want to say. You know, let's save over this, because it's gonna turn into part 2, and I think I got everything correctly in this one. Don't think I need to go back for any trophies. noon, District Court, Defendant Lobby number 4. My sis? I could have sworn I heard Mia's voice. So then, she's still alive inside your heart. Nicky boy. Oh, Miss Delight. Is it true that detective is the real killer? To be honest, we don't have any definite proof. But he's the only one who could have done it. But wasn't he at Lord Taylor that night? Not to mention, we don't exactly know his motive. I mean, why would Detective Acme want to kill Kate Bullard? Oops. It's almost time. Better get back to the courtroom. I need to find some solid proof. And it's gotta happen sooner rather than later. October 14th, 12:21 p.m. District Court, courtroom number 6. Now then, this court is back in session. Mr. Look at Me, please take the stand. Hello. How do you do, Sir Lawyer? Stop that. I never would have thought to see you acting so recklessly. I couldn't let them hand down your verdict just yet. Not when it would have given you your perfect alibi. And alibi by the name of Masked Mask, a name you have not earned. I'm sorry, I'm afraid even the great Look at Me has no idea what you mean. Of course, I have been in the next courtroom ever since 10 o'clock this morning. I'm afraid there's no way I could know what's been going on here. You've been in the defendant's seat all day long, correct? Being tried as Masked Mask. Indeed, it's truly child's play to ignore the ignorant masses. Not only did the poor fools ask me to protect their valuables, they even gave me a generous reward upon returning their own property to them. Take this red diamond ring that sparkles upon my divine finger, for example. So you continue to insist that you are, in fact, Masked Mask. Of course. Very well then, Look at Me. Let's begin with a simple question. On October 12th at 1 a.m., Kane Bullard was murdered. Where were you at that time? One without knowledge lacks even the knowledge that he should be ashamed of himself. But don't worry, I will not hold it against you, Sir Judge. I should go get a big-ass ring. I'm sure I have one, and just sit like this the entire testimony. Thanks. Although I don't think I have a big-ass red ring. Alright, Mr. Atney, the night of the murder, speak. What's that emote? Oh, poo swag. We're all ears. As you wish, Sir Prosecutor. You know what? I'm gonna go away for like a minute and see if I can find a big-ass ring. I will be right back. Hi. Oh, hang on. I couldn't find the ring I was looking for. I have too many jewelry boxes, so I settled for two big-ass different rings. So now I do have a big-ass ring. Although this one you can't really tell. As you wish, Sir Prosecutor. Here's good. Here's better. The alibi. I was stealing the urn as Masked Mask, just as I announced I would. I had more than enough time to prepare. It was a pathetically easy job. Well, I have an even bigger ring with like 8 blue gems. Maybe 12, but I can't find it. I have too many jewelry boxes. You know what, let's just take this one off. That one doesn't really do much. Just this one is better. Yes. A photograph contains no words, but in this case, one turned out to be my witness. The time at which the camera captured Mask the Mask was the same time as the murder. It seems the main point of discussion will be this photo of the crime scene. Everything else up until now was all part of his plan. There has to be a secret to this picture as well. Even the great Mask the Mask cannot be in two places at once. Now then, if you'll excuse me, I have a verdict to receive. I don't know where my pipe is. I have a pipe. I feel like he would have a pipe, but I don't know where I put it. Unfortunately, Mr. Abney, we still have to do your cross-examination. A fool is too foolish to know that he's a fool. Were they writing this for Francesca? I feel like they were. I think he's trying to say that you're full of it, Nick. The only thing that's full of it is his alibi. The alibi. I was stealing the urn as Mask the Mask, just as I announced I would. So this photograph is the proof, correct? Indeed it is. And the man in the photo is oh, sorry, that was Phoenix. And the man in the photo is certainly wearing a mask. That is why I am called Mask the Mask. But conveniently, that also means that there is no way to tell who this really is. What do you mean?
Objection!
Huh, are you saying that this is not, in fact, look at me? That it could be an accomplice dressed up as Mask the Mask to create an alibi? What an interesting idea. Are you saying that I, Lone Wolf Luke, had an accomplice? Am I saying that? Fuck it, I am saying that. You know, let's save before I do that. If Look at Me was at KB security during the murder. Oh, mine is a plastic pipe from a toy store. I was gonna go to a party dressed as Sherlock Holmes, but then I got sick. So I have like a fedora. That was actually my grandmother's. I have big old plastic glasses, because my glasses, my normal glasses, you've seen them on stream every once in a while, don't look detective-y enough. And the pipe, and I had a pinstripe suit. So I was gonna show up as Sherlock Holmes. Or Sherlockette Holmes. If Look at Me was at KB security during the murder, then the mask in this picture has to be a fake. Exactly, you had an accomplice. Now, remember you've said that, Mr. Trite, because there's no going back. If you're making baseless claims, I'll treat you to a penalty myself. Tobacco shops usually do smell great, yeah. I will actually see if I can find the pipe and the glasses, and I will post a picture on Instagram after the stream, or tomorrow. That penalty is probably boiling hot, too. So who is it, Mr. Trite? Who was the accomplice? Fuck it, I think it's her. It was this person. Maybe next time I do a detective game. Maybe next week with this game. Potentially. Oh wait, do I own... Maybe I own the Sherlock Holmes games. I know that there are at least 2 released on PlayStation. Huh, that's quite the prank you're trying to pull. Do you have any evidence that this person is in fact the accomplice? Well, the aura that this person has around them is... If you're going to judge someone by their aura, you'd be right up there as the #1 suspect with Mr. Wright. I have, because I was looking for... There's a shop close to me that sells like foreign magazines and tobacco. So I went in there looking for a foreign magazine. I don't remember which one. I think it was like a British daily something or other. Like Nigella had a special edition something or other. This was way before Nigella posted all her recipes on her website. Anyway. Oh, I jumped the gun on that one. I had more than enough time to prepare. It was a pathetically easy job. I believe Adrian Andrews hired you at one point. That's right. That was over 20 days ago, if I'm not mistaken. You sent the calling card to Lordly Taylor 10 days before the heist. That would mean you sent out the card after you began your security watch, right? Indeed. There was no reason why I couldn't do both jobs at once. It was the perfect opportunity to steal my latest target. I see. You truly are evil, aren't you? Yes, evil is what I am. Hey, Nick, isn't there something odd about this? Detective Acme was always proud of his ace detective status, right? But if the urn was stolen from Lord Taylor while he was the only one watching it, he'd have no way to maintain his perfect ace detective persona. You know, that's true. It is kind of odd. I forgot about the ring for a moment there. A photograph contains no words, but in this case, one turned out to be my witness. So by photograph, you mean this piece of evidence here? Is that correct? Indeed it is. That it is. The very thing that proves I committed the crime. The very thing that proves you committed the crime. When you think about it, it's really odd. You say that almost as if you had this picture taken on purpose.
Objection!
He was simply caught by the very camera that he had set up. We all have days like that. Indeed, it turned out that there was no such thing as the perfect crime after all. Life is truly an ironic thing, a sad blue melody. It looks like I'd better gather some more information for now. If he's truly the killer, there's got to be something phony in that photo. The time at which the camera captured Mask the Mask was the same time as the murder. About the camera that took this photograph. Oh, come on now, it's all too clear what you're thinking. Huh? You think I altered the timestamp on the photograph, don't you? I'm afraid that's impossible. The camera was set up by Lordly Taylor, and on top of that, there's Lordly Taylor's staff that printed the picture's data. Unfortunately for the defense, there's no way that picture could have been altered. I see. It looks like I'd better find something else that could be suspicious. So this alibi is false. It has to be, or he couldn't have killed Mr. Bullard at KB Security. But I'm not really spotting anything unusual. There are two possibilities. Either the Mask the Mask in the photo is a fake, or the photo itself is. this is the one we pressed on before.
Objection!
Did he have an accomplice? Let me think about this. Well, he moved that. But that was spilled 2 weeks ago. So he's had 8 nights to take that photograph. No. Look at me with the KB security. Blah blah blah. That there really was an accomplice. But right now I have no idea who it was. I don't have any idea right now either. Baseless objections are just what that guy wants. There's got to be another way, and I'm going to find it. You know what? Let's try that again.
Objection!
Name the accomplice. Yes, you had an accomplice. The accomplice is... No? No? Fine. Okay, let's... Okay, I know what I'm trying to do. I'm not sure how I do it. Let's try this one. No? Oh, hi, Ash. Okay, ow. Ow, 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 ow. My foot hurts. I walked 15,000 steps today. I wore bad shoes. What is that? Oh, it's just a hide. Okay, so let's try that again. Give it up. The picture is a fake. Blah 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 blah. We just pressed all of these. No, it's okay. It's okay. I like looking at other people's emotes.
Objection!
You did. Wait. Did I miss it again? Yeah, that one is the one I want to press on. No, you didn't alter the timestamp, you just altered the day of it. Okay. Okay, now let's figure this out. This photograph. Do we know it was taken on the night of the crime? Oh, it must have been, yes. But that statue was moved. We don't see any pink on this box. We do clearly see the pink on the floor. We don't see any pink on the box. Let's try that. No? Damn it. You know what? Let's try this. Was it on this one? No, it was on this one. Right? Yes. Your accomplice is... No, wrong again. Fine. Fine. Today has not been going well, by the way. It's technically not exactly the same time as the murder. It's 5 minutes apart. I don't think that's what counts. I'm back to where I was annoyed earlier, that I know what I want to get, but I don't know how to get there. Around 1 AM. Does the puddle look like that in real life, or is that a shadow of something? Oh yes, you missed Clockwork giving me enough subs to get a second emote slot. And I'm still super grateful, and I'm a little bit creatively overwhelmed because now I need to think of a new emote. but I am super happy. Thank you again, clock. So the brooch would be somewhere there, hiding the paint. I am so dumb today. Anyone got any ideas? And it doesn't matter if I fail, I only have one left, so bring me anything. Well, no, we are now accusing him of not being Mask to Mask. And and instead being the killer. I just need an in to prove that he was not at the warehouse, but rather at the KB security office being the murderer. No? Damn it. Okay, let's try that again. Continue. Here, yes. No, I don't know who your accomplice is. Okay, let's just go over all of this again for Ash. Hang on, let me just put this back on. I was stealing the urn as Mask to Mask, just as I announced I would. So this photograph is the proof, correct? Indeed it is. And the man in the photo is certainly wearing a mask. That is why I'm called Mask to Mask. Conveniently, that also means that there is no way to tell who this really is. What do you mean?
Objection!
Huh, are you saying that this is not, in fact, look at me? That it could be an accomplice dressed up as Mask to Mask to create an alibi. Oh, what an interesting idea. Are you saying that I, Lone Wolf Luke, had an accomplice? If Look at Me was at KB Security during the murder, then the Mask to Mask in this picture has to be a fake. Exactly, you had an accomplice. Now remember you said that, Mr. Wright, because there is no going back. If you're making baseless claims, I'll treat you to a penalty myself. That penalty is probably boiling hot too. So who is it, Mr. Wright? Who was the accomplice? I picked her. Did I pick him? I think I picked him. Actual Mask to Mask. And this is a fail. Oh, I can't move on from that one. There is no exit. I need to pick someone and get a fail. It was this person. Ha! That's quite the prank you're trying to pull. Do you have any evidence that this person is in fact the accomplice? Well, the aura that this person has around them is... If you're going to judge someone by their aura, you'd be right up there as the #1 suspect, Mr. Wright. Oh, I jumped the gun on that one. So this is part 2, slide 2. I had more than enough time to prepare. It was a pathetically easy job. I believe Adrian Andrews hired you at one point. That's right. That was over 20 days ago, if I'm not mistaken. You sent the calling card to Lord Lee Taylor 10 days before that is. That would mean you sent out the card after you began your security watch, right? Indeed. There was no reason why I couldn't do both jobs at once. It was the perfect opportunity to steal my latest target. I see. You truly are evil, aren't you? Yes, evil is what I am. Hey, Nick, isn't there something odd about this? Detective Atney was always proud of his ace detective skills, right? But if the urn was stolen from Lord Lee Taylor, well, he was the one watching it. He'd have no way to maintain his perfect ace detective persona. You know, that's true. It is kind of odd. A photograph contains no words, but in this case, one turned out to be my witness. So by photograph, you mean this piece of evidence here. Is that correct? Indeed it is. That it is. The very thing that proves I committed the crime. The very thing that proves you committed the crime. When you think about it, it's really odd. You say that almost as if you had this picture taken on purpose.
Objection!
He was simply caught by the very camera that he had set up. We all have days like that. Indeed, it turned out that there was no such thing as the perfect crime after all. Life is truly an ironic thing, a sad blue melody. It looks like I'd better gather some more information for now. If he's truly the killer, there's got to be something phony in that photo. The time at which the camera captured Mask to Mask was the same time as the murder. Oh, shit. Hang on, let me go back and press on that one. About the camera that took this photograph. Oh, come on now. It's all too clear what you're thinking. Huh? You think I altered the timestamp on the photograph, don't you? I'm afraid that's impossible. The camera was set up by Lord Lee Taylor, and on top of that, it was Lord Lee Taylor's staff that printed that picture's data. Unfortunately for the defense, there's no way that picture could have been altered. I see. It looks like I'd better find something else that could be suspicious. So this alibi is false. It has to be, or he couldn't have killed Mr. Bullard at KB Security. But I'm not really spotting anything unusual. There are two possibilities. Either the mask to mask in the photo is a fake, or the photo itself is. So, I have several points here. Let's start with this photo. You see the pink paint. Well, you don't see that it's pink, but you see the pink paint there. The box should have matching pink paint, and it doesn't. The timestamp only says the actual time. It doesn't say the date. I'll get to that. Let me just explain my reasoning. Aside from that, I mean, we see the paint. Although that doesn't quite match the photo. Adrian broke this and wanted to keep it hidden that she re-broke it. I mean, how hard is it to make sure that picture there matches this picture of the paint marks? Really, really, whoever did this game, I'm just, you annoy me every week. So this pink, and also in this picture, unless he had already moved the statue, that statue should be blocking the paint. Because that statue was there at that point. So that statue should be visible where the paint stain is. But remember what it says here. The statue only arrived at the warehouse on the day of the crime. So this picture could have been taken anywhere in the time period from when he was hired 20 days ago and October 12th, October 11th, when he committed the murder. There are 19 nights where he could have taken this picture and then just had someone do something to make a thing go off on that night and then just kerfuffle the photos. Because the timestamp can't be fake. They said that the timestamp can't be faked and they printed out the photo so the photo isn't fake. But yeah, and this, it says that the camera went off once around 1 a.m. If you went in and out, it should have gone off twice. We've had this conversation in a previous crime way back in the very beginning. The camera only went off once. There were 2 gunshots, so there were 2 gunshots, so the camera went off twice. That was Edgeworth's murder trial. So if you both went in and went out, there should be 2 pictures. And then, you know how I've been wearing this ring? That's black. I mean, I know it's black, but look at the blackmail letter. If you don't show up at KB blah blah blah, I'll take that red diamond you received the other day instead. Red diamond, you say? Almost as if someone is wearing a big fucking red diamond on their hand, flaunting it to the world. So I think the blackmail letter was... I'm not sure how that works. How did they kill her? Someone fucked up there. Because he's the one who got the blackmail letter about the red diamond. Right? Either that or the red diamond is a red herring. Which would be ironic. And then we have... What else? No one is wearing this, but this should also be in the photograph. Because it was torn off during a fight. And I think the urn heist is just a cover-up for the diamond heist. Yes. which means that Adrian Andrews is the accomplice. But she's not the only accomplice, because of the mask-to-mask blackmail letters with the plans. So I think there are two accomplices, completely separate, because obviously Ron, actual mask-to-mask, was... We found out this earlier while you were, I guess, sleeping. He got conked over the head in the security office, and he was out while Kane was getting murdered. And then he tried to shove Kane into the safe. He's the one who shoved Kane into the safe. But he's not the one who killed Kane. And we know that Look at Me is the one who killed Kane, because we see his silhouettes. We just need to prove that he wasn't at the warehouse, that he was actually at KB Security. So it's all super fucking tangled. And I don't know how to get an in here. Because the statue's not the in. I need to figure out how to show them that the photo is fake. A photograph contains no words, but in this case, one turned out to be my witness. Do I present the photograph? Is it that easy? I don't know. I'm stuck again. The first half hour of the VOD is just me being stuck and being an idiot. So I don't know what I'm doing. The press on this. Okay. So by photograph you mean this piece of evidence here, is that correct? Indeed it is. That is it. The very thing that proves I committed the crime. Except it's not. Because the statue should be there, you should be wearing the brooch, and the box should have the paint on it. The very thing that proves you committed the crime. Surely even you understand by now. Lordly Taylor provided that camera. There's no way I could have tampered with it. That means I could not have killed Painted Bullard unless I had an accomplice. Come on, think long and hard about that night. Wait, this is different. The basement warehouse and this picture that supposedly captures it. It's got to be here. Isn't there something funny about this picture? You bet there is. Are you implying that this picture is a fake? You bet I am. There's definitely something strange about this picture. We took a look around that basement warehouse that night before the theft took place. And there's something in this photo that doesn't match my memory of that night. Ash, were you giving me a hint that I didn't press enough? Very well, then let's hear what you have to say. What about this photograph do you find funny? Okay, let's present the paint stain. Maybe. The funny part is right here. Why this is a blood stain. Oh, blood! Now this case is getting interesting. Not exactly. This stain is actually pink paint. Oh, just paint? And peach colored at that. From blood to peaches, the judge sure loves going on his wild tangents. The problem with this photograph is not the paint. The problem is, when you consider the layout of the basement warehouse, it turns out that something that should be there is nowhere to be seen. Oh dear, oh dear. And yes, the ring doesn't quite fit this finger, but I'm still wearing it on this finger. Well, Mr. Wright, what is supposed to be in this picture instead of that paint stain? The supervisor of the treasure exhibit stated the following. Well, there's a good reason for that. On the day of the crime, around noon, that golden statue just happened to arrive from the mountain training hall. I realized that the statue would be the perfect size for covering up the paint stains. That's why I put it where you first saw it. I myself was there that night the theft took place, and saw the statue in that spot. If this picture was truly taken on that night, then that statue should have been there.
Objection!
When I went there the day after the theft, that statue of the old bag was sitting in the corner. Perhaps it was somehow pushed there accidentally. Your Honor, this statue is slightly larger than yourself and quite heavy. It would take more than an accidental push to move it that distance. In that case, can you prove it? Can you give us the rhyme and reason as to why that statue was moved that night? Can you do it, Nick? Never mind who moved it. The real question is, why did they move it? Well, Mr. Wright, I hope you're prepared with your answer. You know what? I am not. So we are gonna save right here. Now then, who was the one that moved the golden statue of the night of the crime? Well, it was not him. Was it Mask the Mask, or was it Adrian? Because he wasn't actually there. And he wasn't actually there. She could be the criminal. Because she's like Bruce Wayne or something. She pretends to hate criminals and cowards, and she's all... I don't know. I don't know where I was going with that. Bruce Wayne isn't exactly the opposite of Batman. Who moved it? It wasn't him. He wasn't there. It wasn't him. He was not there. God damn it. Well, it couldn't be her because we just said that it was heavy. You know, let's go with actual Mask to Mask. What do you think, Mr. Godot? A man should be able to answer some questions. That's what I think. Right now, I'm busy trying to come up with 2 answers of my own. It was moved when he, when the killer, no, when the thief I don't know. I don't know. That part I haven't figured out. It was moved when Luke stole the sword. He pulled the sword, and he pulled it with such force that it moved the statue. Why is coffee black, and why is it bitter? Mr. Wright, to put it simply, you've messed up. What are you doing, Nick? You need to think about why that statue was moved. The good thing about when everyone chews me out is that it gives me time to think. Well, Mr. Wright, I hope you're prepared with your answer. Now then, who was the one that moved the golden statue of the night of the crime? Okay, fine, let's go with him. The one who moved the statue is none other than... Look at me. Come now, Sir Lawyer. There you go again, on one of your strange delusions. Mr. Wright, what basis do you have for strange delusions? It's very simple. The witness was the only one in the basement warehouse that night. That is indeed very simple. However, why would I want to move a heavy golden statue? The reason for moving the golden statue, here's where our battle really begins. Well, Mr. Wright, What reason did the witness have to move that statue? The reason can be found here in this photograph. Look at me. You pretended to be Masked Mask to create an alibi by showing you were at Lordly Taylor that night. But this photograph contains a single fatal flaw. If the statue had been there, your lie would be exposed like a cheap film at a drugstore. That is why you had to move the statue. A single fatal flaw. Interesting theory. Please enlighten us. Just where in this picture does this lie exist? Is this the box? Fuck. The lie is Masked Mask. Are you saying that this Masked Mask is a fake? Ha. You know, I really wish you would start acting more responsibly. I wasn't pointing at Masked Mask, I was pointing at the box. Huh? The current question is, why was the golden statue moved? So what possible connection could there be with Masked Mask's identity? Oh bugger. Your face has oh bugger written all over it. That's a penalty for you. Well, fuck. Okay, blah 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 blah. Okay, at least I saved. Continue here, yes. I had pizza today. Okay. We just went through this. I'm not going to read that again. The reason is found in the photograph. If the statue had been there, your lie would be exposed like cheap film at a drugstore. I legit don't know what the lie is here. Is it the paint again? It's written so stupidly sometimes. I believe this photo was taken at an earlier date. Somewhere. No, I pointed to the box, not the paint. But yes, originally, like three decisions ago, I pointed to the paint. We can't tell if he's wearing gloves or not. We can, however, tell that he's not wearing the ring. This ring. Thank you, Ash. Naturally, the lie in this photo is the timestamp. What do you mean? I'll tell you exactly what I mean. On the night in question, Look at Me went to KB Security and murdered Kane Bullard. Therefore, it's obvious. It would have been impossible for him to have been at Lordly Taylor at this time. But what does that have to do with the statue being moved? Remember, if you will, Your Honor. When was this statue placed beside the warehouse door? Well, the statue was taken down to the warehouse on the day of the crime, and it was placed there in order to cover up the paint. Exactly. Look at Me had already decided on the time when he was going to kill the victim. And so, in order to create an alibi for that time, he took this picture days before the murder took place. See, I told you! I just didn't figure out that it was the timestamp. What the... Of course, the statue hadn't yet been brought down to the basement warehouse yet. Hadn't yet been brought down to the basement warehouse yet. Do you notice how there are two yets in that sentence? Dear proofreader. So, on the day of the crime, Mr. Acme must have been quite nervous. As nervous as a long-tailed cat in a rocking chair factory, so to speak. Why? Because something that wasn't supposed to be there had been brought down and placed where it wasn't supposed to be. I also do that too. I did that suddenly yesterday. And that is why Look at Me had to move the statue on the night of the murder. He did it to make the room match with the way it had been in his photo. Order, Mr. Acme, is this true? One moment, Your Honor. Have you forgotten this? What's that? The data for the basement warehouse computer. According to this, the camera did indeed go off on the night of the crime. It's true that the camera had been set up by the Lordly Taylor staff. However, the program used to manage that data was yours. That alone would have allowed you to tamper with the data. Order, Mr. Godot, what is the meaning of this? No meaning. I don't care. Godot, I warned you about making me wait. Now put that coffee down. My 11th cup. It's only noon. I've promised to drink no more than 17 during a trial. Which means I'm still good till the last drop. However, the defense has made a very good point. Everyone's waiting for Godot. A good point. So what? We are all but travelers on a road of infinite points. I think he's got his points mixed up with his other points. So you say this photograph was taken ahead of time, and that the statue was moved in order to make it match. That's a very interesting idea. However, there's one point that can't be denied, which is 12? That it's only a possibility. Hello, NVIDIA! And congratulations on the gift sub. I think someone was a little generous today. Men that are trapped by the chains of maybe can never reach their dreams. That's very true. No way, don't fall for that, Your Honor. Hey, Mr. the Mask. Yes? But there's no funny business in your actions as Mask the Mask. There should be no problem with you telling us your strategy, so let's hear it. Yes, please provide this court with your testimony about your plan to steal the Sacred Urn. The Sacred Urn heist. I first received a request from Lordly Taylor about 20 days ago. The urn was placed in a box, and zvari, it was then sent to the warehouse. Hence, I was actually unable to see the urn for myself until the day of the crime. I knew it was an extremely valuable treasure, so I sent my card 10 days beforehand. I then handled security by myself to ensure that my crime would go smoothly. Alas, I held the urn in my hands for the first time at 1 a.m. on October 12th. pretty much all stuff we've heard before, isn't it? Yeah, but we will find the truth hidden in the nuggets of new information he gave. Witness? You're sure there are no mistakes this time? Svarri. I don't understand the Svarri. But there was an... Why did it push the offline channel page thing? Who is it that says inconceivable, Ash? Because someone did earlier, and I was like, I know that reference, but I can't think of it. Very well then, Mr. Wright, you may continue your cross-examination. The Sacred Urn heist, cross-examination. Oh, yes, thank you. I first received a request from Lord Detailed about 20 days ago. I think I even have a magnifying glass. But I don't know where that is. I know it's with the pipe, but I don't know where they are, so I'm not gonna go looking. You were asked to guard the urn by Miss Adrian Andrews, right? Indeed, it seemed that they had heard of my sparkling reputation. I see Miss Andrews is still attracting the weirdos. You better watch out too, Maya. The urn was placed in a box in Svarri. It was then sent to the warehouse. You mean this box? Yes, that pathetic box. Lady Andrews was especially taken with that urn, and she wouldn't let anyone enter the storeroom, not even me. Huh, interesting new tidbits. Hence, I was actually unable to see the urn for myself until the day of the crime. Oh! Interesting. So you're sure that you had never seen the urn before? Indeed, you may ask Lady Andrews to confirm for yourself. My security was focused entirely on the entrance to that warehouse. However, look at me, let no information whatsoever slip through my fingers. I knew it was an extremely valuable treasure, so I sent my card 10 days beforehand. You mean this calling card? That's right, that is, without a doubt, my calling card. I guess Mr. Delight didn't make this after all. Of course, because Atme knew about the emblem. Making this card authentic would have been child's play for him. I then handled security by myself to ensure that my crime would go smoothly. Then no one entered the basement warehouse. Unfortunately, there were many different treasures being taken there. Thus, for a period of approximately 5 days, people were indeed going in and out of the warehouse. At last, I held the urn in my hands for the very first time at 1 AM on October 12th. And this is the photo that proves it, huh? Indeed, to be honest, even if the photo was taken, I didn't think it would matter terribly much. Hey Nick, if this photo is a fake, Detective Atme might have stolen the urn whenever this was taken. That's true. You know, he's been saying that he never saw the urn until that night. If we can prove that he's lying there, we can wrap this up and put a bow on it. I need to take a good hard look at the court record. Not a lot to go on this there. That detective's been covering his tracks. There's only one thing we need to prove in this cross-examination. That he took this photo well before the actual night of the crime. Alright then, how do we do that? There's one thing that Atme stated very clearly, that he had never seen the urn before he stole it. We need to prove that he's lying. Well, this box has paint on it. The box in the picture still doesn't have paint on it. What did she say about the poster? Did I press on this? I don't know if I did. Let's do it again just to be safe. Oh, I did. I held the urn in my hands. He's wearing gloves there. I wonder if this will prove important later. It's not valuable. It's priceless, but it's not actually valuable. I'm confused again. The Speckled Urn. I don't think I've ever read that before. Mr. Atme, if you really are a mask to mask, then you also wrote this calling card, correct? But of course. Is there a problem with that calling card? Allow me to read a passage from the calling card that Mask to Mask had written. Take good care of the speckled urn. Now, the speckled here surely refers to the pink pattern on the sacred urn. True, it has been weeks. Yes, that is true, but so what? Truth be told, there's no way that Mask to Mask could have known about this pattern. What do you mean? This pink spotted pattern on the urn is actually nothing more than paint stains. Paint stains? And these stains did not appear until after the urn had been taken to Lordly Taylor. 13? I'm not finding this joke to be very funny, Mr. Trite. The day that the sacred urn was taken to the warehouse, The urn was broken due to human error, or should I say an error-prone human. And that's when the pink paint got on the urn. Oh, you can't be serious. And yet this calling card clearly mentions the paint pattern. Which means Detective Atme had seen this urn long before the crime ever took place. In fact, he saw it when this fake photo was taken. And because this photo is a fake, your alibi for the night of the murder no longer holds water. Okay, I'm better now. Witness, do you have anything to say for yourself? Alright, that did it. He's broken. Nick? I think it's a little early for a victory pose. Huh? 14? Huh. It's so sad. No one has any conviction these days. Conviction, you say? Yesterday, we all decided unanimously that this man was Mask the Mask. And now we're calling him a murderer. You don't think we're being a tad fickle? That's a good point. No way, don't fall for that too, Your Honor. You say the Look at Me was the one who killed Kane Bullard. Then let me ask you this. Why would he do that? Ha 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 ha. An excellent point. Motive, Mr. Wright. Motive. Might you, my merry murderer's motive manifest? Nick, he's getting a second wind. If he prepared an alibi and pinned his crime on Ron Delight, as you say, he must have had a very strong motive for murder. The only one with any motive we've seen is Ron Delight. Isn't that right, Detective? Indeed, according to my own research, the boy's motive is clear. Without a motive, it's nearly impossible to prove guilt in a murder case. Now then, maybe you can enlighten us as to what the defendant's motives were. Yes, right after I save. I'd be honored to, Sir Old-Timer. They're doing everything they can to make Ron look suspicious. Despite our lack of hard information, this may be our only chance. Motive for murder, witness testimony. I, Look at Me, had no points of contact with the victim whatsoever. Kane Bullard decided to investigate Mask the Mask and simply mistook who he was. It was Mr. Bullard who wrote the blackmail letter and sent it to Ron Delight. And it was again Mr. Bullard who harbored a grudge against Mr. Delight for his betrayal. Mr. Bullard's mistake is quite excusable. The defendant truly believes he is Mask the Mask. That is why Mr. Delight saw fit to kill Kane Bullard. Truly a tragedy. So the victim, Kane Bullard, blackmailed the defendant. This is the blackmail letter found in the defendant's apartment. A handwriting test confirms that Mr. Bullard was indeed the one who wrote the letter. What? Blackmail letter updated in the court record. Very well, Mr. Wright. Begin your cross-examination. Motive for murder. Cross-examination. I, Look at Me, had no point of contact with the victim whatsoever. And who in the world is going to prove that? I will. After doing a thorough background check on Detective Atme and Kane Bullard, we were unable to find any links between them. It's all in the report. What report? Perhaps they were connected through their work. They were both involved in security. Nope. That was blunt. In any case, the only one with a motive was Mr. Delight. Kane Bullard decided to investigate Mask the Mask and simply mistook who he was. Mistook? That's right, mistook, from the Old Norse mistaka, meaning to take an error. Okay, we still have mistog, so I guess I can settle for that. And toga is actually tape. That wasn't what I meant. Just who did the victim mistake Mask the Mask to be? Why, the answer is obvious. Ron Delight, of course. Boy, I'd like to wipe that smug look off this guy's face. Yes, we press harder. Why would the victim mistake the defendant for Mask the Mask? Don't you already know that? Zvari, take a look at this newspaper. Oh ho ho, that's the famous Tiro Emanon, a magnificent jewel. That photo shows a magnificent detective as well, does it not? Furthermore, it also shows an ugly guard, namely the defendant. The defendant? The victim clearly misread this article, and Svari, he got the wrong impression. The impression that this ugly security guard was in fact Mask the Mask. I see. That was an unusually reasonable deduction. It was Mr. Bullard who wrote the blackmail letter and sent it to Ron Delight. You mean this blackmail letter right here? It says bring 50,000, and the handwriting is without a doubt the victim's. There's no mistake. We have an official report to prove it. But I don't see an addressee on this letter anywhere. An addressee? This letter was discovered in Ron Delight's apartment, and Mr. Delight did show up at the designated time and place. The fact that there is no addressee is irrelevant. I wonder... What's up, Nick? I just had a thought. What if that blackmail letter wasn't meant for Mr. Delight? Whoa, do you have any evidence of that? For some reason I just can't shake the feeling that there's something not quite right about this blackmail letter. You mean the fact that it mentions a red diamond that we haven't even been introduced as a heist? Yeah. Well, everyone, are you quite satisfied? And it was again Mr. Bullard who harbored a grudge against Mr. Delight for his betrayal. What do you mean by that? Oh my, I was certain you were already aware. Zvari. KB Security has a lot of security info on all sorts of companies. And since I was the security team chief, I stole data from the company. Kane Bullard had yet to forgive young Mr. Delight, which is why he sent him that letter upon mistakenly believing he was the thief. Here is a file that we discovered in Mr. Bullard's office, evidence that Mr. Bullard was receiving money through blackmail. However, isn't this a bit odd? Why did the defendant pay Mr. Bullard the money, even though he wasn't actually Mask the Mask? On that point, there was an unfortunate bit of chance. Mr. Bullard's mistake is quite excusable. The defendant truly believes he is Mask the Mask. Do you really think that story is going to hold up? That assertion is not merely my own, I'm afraid. What do you mean? I have here a memo from Ron Delight's wife, Desiree Delight. Is that 16? I think that's 15 or 16. Ronnie thinks he's Mask the Mask. Don't you feel sorry for him? Please don't think too badly of him. Huh. Well, Mr. Wright. Ugh. Was he trying to act like Miss Delight just now? I thought he was actually pretty convincing. That is why Mr. Delight saw fit to kill Kane Bullard. Truly a tragedy. Now that's just your imagination talking. Come on now, Sir Lawyer. I'm afraid imagination isn't the right word for it. This is a deduction, the result of carefully applied reasoning. Can we hear that carefully applied reasoning for ourselves? It's a long story, better saved for another time. Very well, another time. Those so-called long stories aren't usually that long. At least not in my experience, sorry. So if you're going to try to connect Detective Atme to Mr. Bullard, right? Yeah, that's right. Hopefully it won't require surgery either. In that case, you'll have to talk about the blackmail. That's true. Was that blackmail letter really intended for Ron? Since we don't have enough information, you should press him for more testimony. Maybe I'll be able to shake some contradictions loose that way. You know, let's save. Again, yeah. Because it has been all of 10 minutes. Present. Actually, hang on, let's go. Yeah, no, this. Mind if I ask you a few questions, Detective Atme? Well, if it's just a few, I guess it's alright. When you said that this letter was addressed to Ron DeLate, I couldn't help but notice one major contradiction. Contradiction? I don't know where a walking contradiction like you gets off saying things like that. You're one to talk. At times like these, men are made to express themselves with their fists. Why don't you show us what you've got there, Junior? Indeed, time to man up, Mr. Wright. Show us the contradicting evidence in the content of the blackmail letter. How do I do that? Oh, you forgot this one. I mean, I guess you don't have that one, but let's include that one. That's not a simp check, that's a sip check. I don't know. Again. So that's the tier of Emanon. Red diamond. How do I show the red diamond? It's not on the list. The diamond is red. And the tier of Emanon is not red. Well, see, the thing is, this was the first heist, and he says in the blackmail letter, the other day, he received the diamond the other day. The other day was like months ago. So they can't be referring to the same diamond. Also, there's no such thing as red-blue colorblind, I'm pretty sure. I think it's red-green. So either this is an old letter, or it's talking about the 50,000. Hang on. Kane's list. You received 100,000. Yeah, but I'm pretty sure not one of them is red-blue. Oh, fine. Fine. Let's go with that one. Take a good look at this newspaper clipping. It contains a picture of the Tear of Emanon, the stolen jewel. Well, what about it? The problem is that this jewel's color. Color? I'm not much for discussing color myself. According to the clipping, the color of the stolen jewel was blue. However, in the blackmail letter, a totally different jewel is mentioned. I'll take that red diamond you received the other day. Red? Which means the red diamond described in the blackmail letter is not the Tear of Emanon that Mask the Mask stole at all. Oh, okay. Yes, sure. Let's go with that. And your point is, Mr. Traits? So you are trying to say that this blackmail letter was intended for someone else? That is what you're trying to say, right, Traits? That is what you're trying to say, right, Mr. Wright? Well, that is what you're trying to say, right, Nick? Could everyone just stop? Yes. This is who Kane Bullard was actually blackmailing. Okay, now fuck you, Luke. Naturally, it was you, Detective Atme. Do you have some sort of basis for that claim? You have been personally involved in every single Mask-to-Mask case. And in the last case, you recovered what was stolen. And received a jewel as your reward. A jewel? Probably the one wrapped conspicuously around your finger. This very important jewel. Is that what he's trying to say, right, sweet chick? Yes, yes, Ash Dragon Axe. Is that what he's trying to say, right? Right? Pro sale, right? Is that what he's trying to say, right? That red diamond ring. This one. That is the diamond referred to in the letter. Which means that Kane Bullard wrote that letter in order to blackmail you. You. Right there. I see you. Order. Order in the court. Order, I say. Right. You. I got my eye on you. It seems you've gone too far with your childish pranks, Mr. Traits. Uh-oh. I don't like the way he said that. Kane Bullard blackmailing look at me? Are you for real? Yes, I am. No, he's not. He's fictional, but let's go with it. Nick, come on, stand up to him. Left. He's wearing it on his left hand. Then answer me this. The blackmail letter contains the following passage. If you don't want your identity revealed to the world. Yes, it certainly does. Kane Bullard threatened to make look at me's identity public knowledge. An identity you wanted to keep secret. So just what was that identity? Atme killed Kane Bullard because he was afraid of his secret becoming known. What was the identity he wanted to keep secret? This is what it all comes down to, Nick. The identity that look at me wanted so desperately to keep secret was his identity as. You know what, fuck it, let's save. This is my left hand. This is my right hand. This is the hand I write with. This is my left hand. Mask to mask. Look at me, was mask to mask. What? That's my line. My camera is mirrored. Yes. No. Yes. Is it? I things like that just fucks with my head every once in a while. What's that supposed to mean? That's my line too. Listen up, you. This is what you've been saying up to this point in time. The witness pretended to be mask to mask in order to pin the murder on the defendant. In which case, you'll want to insist up to and beyond the day you die that Rhonda Light was in fact mask to mask. I must say, this sudden change of heart doesn't reflect well on you. Good thing I saved. Blah 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 blah. Okay, so he is a blackmailer. Yeah. Look at me, was a blackmailer.
Objection.
Hey now, isn't that a little different from what you've been saying? You said that Kane Bullard was the one blackmailing Look at Me. Are you saying that Atme was blackmailing someone else on top of that? Ugh, you have to admit, that does sound a little odd. It's not odd, it's the only thing that makes any sense. Kane Bullard was blackmailing Look at Me. But Rhonda Light was also being blackmailed by a certain someone. So did you start receiving blackmail letters after this incident? Yes, just a few days after the Tears of Emanon heist. After that, I started getting the plans in the mail. I received plans from some very kind person, incredibly detailed plans. In which case, that would mean that Rhonda Light was actually mask to mask. That is what we are claiming. Someone else came up with the plans and had Mr. Delight steal his targets for him. And that someone was none other than Look at Me. Shh! Silence! Now I see. It's all becoming clear. But what is? When you were in grade school, you received the same report card every year. Careless, with a tendency to jump to conclusions. Am I wrong? How did you... You say that I, Look at Me, was blackmailing Rhonda Light. In which case, I would naturally know all about his relation to Mask to Mask. Well, yes. Rhonda Light started receiving plans from a second crime onward, correct? Which means I learned of his identity when he committed that first crime. Good point. You certainly couldn't have blackmailed him otherwise. In that case, let's see some hot, bitter evidence. During the first crime, how did Look at Me know that Rhonda Light was Mask to Mask? Where's the newspaper clipping? Let's go with that. I think I see it. See what? When you were in grade school, you received the same report card every year. Gets into lots of mischief, trying to be the center of attention. What do you mean? This newspaper clipping. It has a picture of you and Rondelite in his guard uniform. It seems that Master Mask didn't just disappear into thin air. He just took off his outfit and hid it in a bucket. That sounds far too stupid to be true. Correct? With tricks like that, he couldn't fool a baby, let alone an ace detective. And that's when you figured it out, Mr. Atme. That's when you learned that under his mask, Mask to Mask, was really Rondelite. What? Wasn't he supposed to... Not only... It looks like he wasn't even an ace detective. I can't believe it. He was just a slimy blackmailer. What a fraud, trying to pass himself off as an ace detective. Why you... How dare you expose me like that? Why I mean, I've never blackmailed anyone in my life. I'm a famous and proud ace detective and also Mask to Mask. Yes. Yes. Why can't you understand that? That's a creepy face, among his other creepy faces. I'm afraid you are neither a proud thief nor an ace detective. You're a blackmailer and a murderer. That is your true identity. Why you... How dare you... Okay, I'm not gonna keep up with that. Rage, 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 ah, ha 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 ha. It's enough to make one laugh. Okay. It would seem we've finally arrived at the real answer. That was quite a performance by Mr. Atme. Bailiff, please prepare a cell for Mr. Atme.
Objection.
The hammer that strikes too fast has no time to aim. What do you mean? I'm already prepared to deliver my ruling. Allow me to say one thing. I will be the one to judge. You don't get much more in your face than that. It appears that your claws weren't quite sharp enough, Mr. Tripe. But what do you... It's true that you've proven a lot of things. Things like Look at Me was a filthy blackmailer. And that he wasn't at Lorley Taylor the night of the murder. That's right, that's why he's the one who killed Mr. But... There's still one thing you have yet to prove. What's that? Just because he wasn't at the warehouse doesn't mean that he was at the murder scene. Therefore, if you can't prove that this pitiful excuse for a man was at KB Security, then I don't see how a verdict can be delivered. No way! Order in the court. Well, Mr. Wright? This is it. This is the final round. I've got to prove that Atme was at Mr. Bullard's office on that night. But can you really prove that? That's long enough, Mr. Trite. I want to hear your answer. That night, Look at Me was at KB Security and the defense... I don't know what number we're at. He might be breaking his own rule. I'm pretty sure this is the actual murder weapon. Do I have any actual proof? Maybe the murder weapon? Let's save again. Can we prove it? Yes, we're gonna use the sword, and the defense can prove it with evidence. Are you sure? Huh. Don't you worry, I'll watch over you as you break down and fall to pieces. Very well then, let's see this proof. Proof that Look at Me was at KB security that night.
Take that!
This is the proof. It's true. That is very important. However, I'm not so foolish as to think that will pass for evidence here. Damn it. Mr. Trite, it's time you learned the true flavor of life. Ow! The flavor of my special Godot blend number 49. Well, Mr. Wright, it's bitter. Very bitter. Come on, Nick, don't give up now. What do I do? If I make a mistake here, it's over. His wallets. A key card was found in the wallets. Blunt trauma. I mean, I guess the sword isn't blunt. His body was found inside the safe. Oh. I feel like this is the Jeopardy music, or the How to Become a Millionaire music, or something like that. It's really designed to stress you out. The buzzer went off once. So he was invited to there, and the CEO let him in. But you know, let's go with no, because then Mia will have an epiphany. I can't prove it. Just as I thought. But if we hear more of Detective Atme's testimony, unfortunately, that's as far as you go, Mr. Trite. What do you mean? I won't allow for any more testimony. That's what I mean. What? Have you forgotten? Look at Me is here after we interrupted his own trial. and you have failed to prove that he committed the murder. I think it's time for this witness to return to his own trial and face his guilty verdict that masked him. You know what? I'm sorry. I need to go. I don't know what happened with my... I need to go and rinse my contacts. I will be right back. My eye is itching like crazy. Sorry about that. I feel better now. And face his guilty verdict as masked the mask. No. Well now, Sir Lawyer, it seems love wins out in the end after all. Love? What? I am the ace detective as well as Mask the Mask. My verdict will verify that. Thank you. I'm just a little warm now though. Just as Ron Delights will verify that he is the true murderer. I declare that with the full force of my ace detectiveness. I don't know if you can tell, but my eye is really red compared to this one. Order in the court. That's enough deliberation over this witness. I can't believe it. At this rate, Ron is... Don't give up now, Nick. We still have tomorrow. We can look for more evidence and by then it'll be too late. Huh? But why? Double jeopardy. One of the basic rules of any court of law. Double jeopardy? Should a defendant be tried and found innocent in court, that defendant cannot be tried again for the same crime. This is a fundamental rule of all courts. Suddenly they believe in fundamental rules for the courts. And it applies to this witness as much as it applies to anyone else. Mr. Atney will be found guilty in a matter of minutes. Guilty as Mask to Mask, which means he will be innocent as far as the murder of Kane Bullard is concerned. No way! The fact that you were unable to prove Mr. Atney's guilt of that crime here means that he will never again be tried as Kane Bullard's murderer. Oh fuck. Now there's nothing I can possibly do to win. Even if Ron is proclaimed to be innocent, the real killer, look at me, will go free. You have cross-examined every statement the witness has made here today, and as long as there is no more testimony, I'm afraid I have to declare that there will be no further questioning of this witness. Are there any objections? And I hereby end the cross-examination of Look at Me. Damn it.
Objection!
Wait! I think I see it. Your Honor, when you were a child, this is what was on your report card every year. Has poor hearing and often makes mistakes as a result. How did you... Phoenix, raise your head up high. Have you forgotten what I used to tell you? A lawyer is someone who smiles no matter how bad it gets. That voice, no way. Hi! Long time no see, Phoenix. Mia? This is the true power of the crime channeling technique. I know that it's really my understanding before me, but right now she's my mentor, Mia Fey. I don't understand why we need this exposition every single case. Now, let's do this. But there's nothing more we can do, Mia. Without any more testimony, I can't cross-examine. Not yet. The testimony's not over yet. But what do you mean? Your Honor, just now you said something very interesting. You have cross-examined every statement the witness has made here today. Yes, that's true, but unfortunately, Your Honor, you're forgetting something. Earlier, after the last cross-examination, this witness made a number of remarks. Well now, Sir Lawyer, it seems that love wins out in the end after all. I am the ace detective, as well as Master Mask. My verdict will verify that. Just as Rondo Lights will verify that he is the true murderer. I declare that with the full force of my ace detectiveness. Yes, but these comments appear to have no importance whatsoever. Very well, then we shall prove their importance via cross-examination. At any rate, as long as the witness has made these remarks, we, the defense, assert our right to question them. Is that all right with you, prosecutor? Is something the matter, Mr. Goodell? Oh, nothing. Oh, Sir Lawyer, it looks like you're one step too late. If you think such falsehoods will do anything to me, let's hear it. So I forgot my other ring, so now we're just gonna go with this one. I left it in the bathroom and I don't want to get up right now. Huh? It's true that the witness made some remarks. So then, let's hear this last bit of cross-examination. Mr. Godot, what are you... Very well then, Mr. Look at Me. I'm going to allow the defense to cross-examine your earlier remarks. The defense would like to hear why you declare the defendant to be the true murderer. So please, give us one last bit of testimony. Phoenix, this is it. This is our absolute last chance. Yes, Chief? The last testimony. Indeed, it is true that I was not at Lord Taylor. I had to leave to see about another vitally important job request. I had known about the days beforehand, so I had this photograph ready. My brilliant deduction was what informed me that the true culprit was Wanda Lights. And thanks to the keycard and wallet, it was abundantly clear that he was there. You didn't know this because this was going on at the same time. I was also able to make a deduction from the buzzer, which only sounded once. The button did not have any fingerprints on it. Why? The victim would have left prints if he sounded it, which means the killer sounded it. Mr. Delight was wearing his mask-to-mask outfit, which is why he left no prints. And the blackmail letter, the victim likely just mistook the color of the jewel. Svarri. Therefore, all the evidence points to that poor boy. This testimony actually seems to hold up pretty well. The witness's earlier remarks do not appear to have been hastily prepared. All of his points have been explained, and none of them seem to contradict anything. But of course. But, how did you know about the emergency buzzer? The police investigation documents went directly through me, and I always look over all the documents. It's elementary, Sir Lawyer. Are you going to make even more trouble for us now, Sir Lawyer? I will not allow any of your usual shenanigans, Mr. Wright. Yes, Your Honor. We cannot postpone Luke Edney's trial any longer. This is your last chance. Hang on a sec, just one chance? Huh. Seems that the party's about to begin. Well, Phoenix, there isn't any evidence that contradicts with that testimony. So would seem. What do you mean, so would seem? Listen, Phoenix, pointing out contradictions doesn't always mean you have to present evidence, does it? At any rate, this is our last chance. If you can't point out a case-breaking contradiction, you lose. That's all there is to it. Okay, you are well beyond 17 now. No? Cup 17? The last cup. Okay. Okay. Seems like the time has come to put an end to this trial. I have to find a fatal contradiction in this testimony, and I need to point it out without presenting evidence. Which means all I can do is find a contradictory remark and press it. Remember, you only get one chance. Either that or ours. I mean, the things during the presses, I don't know if they count. Yes. Very well then, Mr. Wright. Begin your final cross-examination. The last testimony. Indeed, it is true that I was not at Lord Taylor. I had to leave to see about another vitally important job request. I had known about the date beforehand, so I had this photograph readied. My brilliant deduction was what informed me that the true culprit was Ron Delight. And thanks to the keycard and wallet, it was abundantly clear that he was there. I was also able to make a deduction from the buzzer, which only sounded once. The button did not have any fingerprints on it. Why? The victim would have left prints if he sounded it, which means the killer sounded it. Mr. Delight was wearing his mask-to-mask outfit, which is why he left no prints. And the blackmail letter? The victim likely just mistook the color of the jewel. Svarri, therefore all the evidence points to that poor boy. I see the contradiction. Do you see the contradiction? Do you see the contradiction? Because I see the contradiction. You don't see it? Okay. So he said that he knew about their date in advance. This. How did he know about the blackmail letter? Ash, could you report that for me, please? If he hadn't read the blackmail letter, he must have either met Kane, which he says that he didn't, or he must have met Ron, which she claims to not have. Mr. Acme, about this last remark.
Objection!
You still don't get it, do you, Trites? This isn't the time to be pressing the witness on every little statement. What? I said this before. There's still one thing you haven't proven. That this scum was in Kane Buller's office that night. And now, it's time for me to drink my last cup. Thank you. Mr. Wright, I'll hold you to your end of the bargain. Damn it! I could have sworn that was it. Okay, let's try that again. Okay, let's look through this. True. It's true you weren't there. Oh, that was me misunderstanding. The blackmail letter. Wait, what am I trying to prove? This cross-examination is the only chance I have to nail it. Somewhere there's a huge contradiction and I've got to find it. As far as I can see, there's no evidence that contradicts his testimony. All you can do is press him, and you only get one shot. Am I trying to prove that he's masked a mask, or that he's... that he's the killer, or... that he's the... I don't know. How did he know? Is it that he knew that the victim wasn't wearing gloves? Or that Mr. Delight was wearing the mask-to-mask outfit? We know that, but how did he know that 3 days ago? Let's go with this one.
Objection!
No? Fine. Okay, so let's try mask-to-mask outfits. Because he didn't know that. No one knew that until he mentioned it like 2 hours ago. And he wasn't even in the room when he mentioned that, so there's no way he could have known that. Because he was not in the room when Ron said that. So the only way he could have known that is by also being in the room.
Objection!
No? But... Oh! Okay, I was right. Okay, you know what? Let's start that over again then. Because now I actually missed some of the dialogue. I didn't expect to be right. It didn't seem like I was right, and then Phoenix interrupted. Because it had the same first few things. Mr. Delight was wearing the mask-to-mask outfit. Mr. Atney, about this last remark.
Objection!
You still don't get it, do you, Trite? This isn't the time to be pressing the witness on every little statement. I'm afraid you're the one who still doesn't get it, Mr. Godot. What? What? Huh? Huh? Mr. Atney, it seems you have finally admitted that you were in the CEO's office on the night of the murder. How can you say that? Let's review your testimony, shall we, Mr. Atney? The button did not have any fingerprints on it. Why? Mr. Delight was wearing his mask-to-mask outfit. Is that correct? Indeed, that's what I said. My deductions are absolutely foolproof. More like your deductions prove that you're a fool. I'm sorry? Whatever do you mean? For some reason, I'm starting to get really thirsty. When exactly did we learn the fact that Ron Delight was dressed as mask-to-mask when he went to the scene of the crime? That was, it was just a few hours ago. Back when my sixth cup was looking at me with a cold stare. Yes, he's a thirsty boy. Boy with an eye. Huh? Oh, did I forget to mention it before? I'm sorry, I just never had a chance to mention it up until now. That's right, the defendant had yet to tell anyone else this fact before this morning. Therefore, the only people who should have known this are those who have been watching this trial. Do you understand now, Detective Atney? There's no way you should have known about that. You were in the next courtroom being tried as mask-to-mask. So then, enlighten us. Just how did you know about that piece of information? Well... Come on, this detective must have known about it. He probably had plenty of chances to find out beforehand. And it's those chances I want to discuss next. That night, Mr. Delight was wearing his mask-to-mask outfit. There's one and only one way for Detective Atney to have found that out. Only one. One way, you say? Please recall, if you will, Mr. Delight's testimony. When I entered the office, there was a suspicious shadow there. For a second, my client witnessed the real killer. But Mr. Delight never saw his attacker, so there's no way to tell whether or not the real killer was looking at me. It's with that statement that I'll turn this case on its head. Just what are you implying? Mr. Delight saw the real killer, correct? Now if you turn that statement around, it stands to reason that the real killer had also seen Mr. Ron Delight. Impossible. Hi. Detective Atney, you saw Mask-to-Mask at the murder scene that night. You saw him when he killed Kane Bullard and assaulted Ron Delight. It's almost as if I've said that for 2 days. 2 streams. Almost as if I knew that. Almost as if I've been saying that. That was the only way you could have known what Ron was wearing. That noise is his head exploding. Ha 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 ha. Take a good look, everyone. Unable to find a rival worthy of my genius, I was forced to create one by myself. Here I am, the tragic clown. Is this not the same speech that he did yesterday? It is the same speech he gave yesterday. But I think there's a little more meaning behind it this time. An awfully complicated incident. Kane Bullard was blackmailing Luke at me, who was in turn blackmailing Rhonda Light, and upon killing his blackmailer, Luke at me tried to frame Rhonda Light. He then claimed to be guilty as Mask the Mask in order to escape his true crime, and to that end he came up with this plan, to use the double jeopardy rule when making his alibi. At any rate, it would seem we've finally found the truth. Excuse me? I came perilously close to besmirching the record of an innocent young man. Besmirching him with the title of murderer. Don't ignore me! Oh, I didn't realize you were there. Why wouldn't he be? About the verdict. I know you never committed any murder. That's right, I'm so glad that you understand that, but I really am Mask the Mask. Huh? So thanks to that trial yesterday, I'm innocent now, right? What was it you said? Double jeopardy. Now that you mention it, I've been careless. Yes, you've done fucked up. Careless? What do you think, Mia? As the defendant says, the rule of double jeopardy is absolute. A defendant can never be tried twice for a crime in which he was once found innocent. Then, Mask the Mask is really innocent? It would seem so. For now. For now? Well, if he stops, Ron is just dumb enough to get away with them being dumber. Because they were too busy being smart and dumb. Yes. Now then, this court finds the defendant. Boy, this is really lucky. Wait, this isn't so good after all. You see, the thing is, I still am Mask after all. October 14th, 3:35 p.m. District Court Defendant Lobby number 4. Yes, that's the point. You did it, Phoenix. Thanks, Mia. It's been a long time, hasn't it? Yeah, it's because Maya doesn't call on me much these days. Oh? I'm just joking, Phoenix. Don't take everything so seriously. But on the other hand, Maya, she seems kind of torn these days. You mean about becoming the master of the crime channeling school? Becoming the master means saying goodbye to our mother. Mr. Faye, right? I'm sorry, I don't know why I got all weepy over that. Watch over her, will you, Phoenix? Of course. Well then, see you around. Is the next case gonna be finding the mother? Yeah. Mr. Wright. I don't know what to say. So, should I handle your divorce as well? Congratulations, Mr. Delight. Thank you so much. No, wait. Nothing really matters anymore, though, now that all this has happened. Come on, just be happy already. Maya! You've been cleared of the murder charges and got off as Mask the Mask's boots. But, in exchange, I lost everything. Huh? What do you mean? Stealing security information from KB Security, becoming Mask the Mask. I did it all for one reason. For her. Insert a Homer Simpson do it for her Maggie thing. You mean your wife, Desiree? She hates criminals more than anything. Come to think of it, she was once held hostage by some robbers, wasn't she? She always said how she hated sneaky criminals. I knew that, but once I got fired from KB Security and lost all the money I had, she wouldn't have any reason to stay with me. I thought she would leave me for sure. So that's why you became Mask the Mask. Yes, but it's all over now. Broken bowls can never be put back together. That's not true, right, Nick? Yeah, just look at the fucking urn. Right. Really? Can we go back to the way things were? That depends on how much trial she saw. You'll be fine, and Nick can prove it. You can? I kinda wish you would check with me first. You know what? I bet this is one of those big things. So let's save. Mr. Delight, even if a bowl is broken, there's always a way to put it back together. Oh, it is the urn. The sacred urn. Desi was the one who found this. Desiree, your wife, she's always believed in you, Ron. That's why you'll be fine. You don't have to worry about anything. Ah, there you are! Miss Delight. You did it, Ronnie. You're innocent. I'm so happy. Thank you. I appreciate that. But, I suppose you don't want anything more to do with me, do you? Ronnie, why didn't you talk to me about what was going on? I had no idea you'd quit KB Security. I never imagined that you were really Mask the Mask either. Mr. Light? What are you going to do now that you know? You're not going to really leave him, are you? Come on, it's obvious, isn't it? How could I ever let a wonderful man like him get away? After all, my bike's really fast. So fast that there's no way he could ever get away. But didn't you say that you hated criminals? Oh, I only hate people who act all cowardly and sneaky. Like that detective. I see. My Ronnie went and declared his crimes before he committed them, like a man. Okay, okay. I just love a man who's so chivalrous. Chivalrous? I knew I was right about you. Every day I spend with you is filled with thrills and excitement. Desi? Desiree, you really do love Ron, don't you? Nicky boy. Yes? I'm really glad I asked you to defend my Ronnie. Thank you so much. I'll never forget what you've done for us. Oh, well, take care of yourself. You too, Nicky boy. I can feel my face going red. No, she's just like this. Mr. Nick, Mystic Maya, congratulations. Ah, talk about bad timing. Mr. Nick, how could you, with another man's wife in front of Mystic Maya? No, you got it all wrong. I'll never forgive you. Never, ever. Oh dear. Oh dear. So just as the case came to close, So too did my consciousness. Ron said, broken bowl can never be put back together. But I know that's not true. I mean, just look. Here's a perfect example of one that was put back together, even better than before. Yes. She's super shipping them. Episode 2, The Stolen Turnabouts. The end. And Trophy Urn, The Stolen Turnabouts. A brand new episode has been added. Okay, let's see what we're doing next week, because it's been 3.5 hours. Yes, I do want to save. Yes. So next week in recipe for something. It wasn't me, I swear it wasn't me. Evidence and testimony we have seen and heard are conclusive. The victim was alone at his table when he drank from that poisoned coffee. No, you're wrong. I know what I saw. I saw. You saw a stomach? I saw someone else there. A man. He's the real killer. That looks like Phoenix. Glittery powder in a floral coffee cup. It looked like Maid Maya, but I'm not sure it is. Well, I'd say that pretty much wraps this case up, wouldn't you, Mr. Wright? This court finds the defendant guilty. This court is adjourned. I have no idea what's going on. January. Well, that was quite the skip again. Wright & Co. offices. The start of the new year always makes me feel like I can take on the whole world. I bet it does, Maya. So, I've decided that our only solution should be Zbari, take on the world. What do you think? Sure, whatever, Maya, but I think you maybe have had more than enough mistletoe cake. Never. You've got to eat a lot of cake during New Year's. It's practically a tradition. Like watching the fireworks on TV, or playing a board game. You don't watch the fireworks on TV, you watch the fireworks out the window. Hey, pal! I'm pretty sure that's gonna be Gumshoe. Oh, hi! Detective Gumshoe. Happy New Year, Detective. Likewise. Now listen up, Wright. Here's to another fruitful year of lawyer-police cooperation. Yeah, me too. Alright, pal. You've got some explaining to do. Have you got a holiday present for me, Detective? What? Well, here, have this. It's really nothing much, but... Yay, thanks. Look, pal, we need to have a talk. Take a seat. Hey, what about Pearl? You haven't forgotten her present, have you? No. I mean, yes. I mean, no. Are you doing this on purpose? Haha, guess I'm busted. How did you like my first practical joke of the year? Very funny, pal. Now let's see how funny you think it is when I show you this. What is it? A magazine? Hey, I wanna see. Deadly poisoning brings guilty verdict. Defense attorney Wright trounced. What does trounced even mean? Trounced? Let me see that. The defense attorney gave an almost childishly amateur performance yesterday. What the heck is this? It's a report, pal, about you. Listen to this. Mr. Wright must take full responsibility for the ruling in this case. Well, and don't tell me you don't remember anything about it. But I don't remember anything about it. When was that issue from, anyway? December of last year, which I guess makes it last month. Which makes it old news, you mean? But I wasn't involved in a poisoning case in December. So what do you think this is all about, Nick? If it wasn't you, pal, then that leaves only one possibility. No way. You don't mean a phony Nick? Nick wrong? This must be Gumshoe's idea of a joke. Guess he's starting off the year with one too. Magazine clipping added to the court record. So, what are you gonna do about it, pal? What do you mean, what am I gonna do about it? You know, let's stop. Let's just look at this. Oh, never mind. I can't see. But, let's stop. Let's figure this out next week. Thank you for hanging out. We are finally done with case 2. Next week, we officially start case 3, because this hasn't happened. This didn't happen. You didn't see this. But Friday, we are gonna play... I have no clue. We're gonna play something. I don't know what. Thank you for hanging out. Have a good rest of your day, night, whatever. And Friday, Swedish 7 p.m. we're playing something.